very well cooked chicken. It almost comes apart while I remove it. And what we're making is a very powerful dish, as we call. It's called, he already doesn't like it. It's called Harissa. Only 2 ingredients for this extremely delicious and very filling dish. And the dish is also historical because nowadays we make harissa, and we don't, of course, only make it for that specific reason, but that's one of the most memorable reasons why we make harissa. Traditionally, in old days, this was made for New Year's, back then when the New Year was celebrated in August, in summer. Nowadays, in contemporary Armenian cuisine, the dish is also famous as the one that celebrates the lives for those who fell fighting during Armenian genocide in 1915, resistance who fell in Musaler. That's a very emotional and very historical events that have happened in 1915, and April 24 approaching. April 24, those who don't know, non-Armenians who don't know what April 24 for Armenians is, that marks the 101 years of Armenian genocide. Unfortunately, very painfully, the day isn't recognized by the world. The Armenian genocide wasn't recognized by the world, not yet. And this year, and every year, Armenians march in protest of that recognition of Armenian genocide, where 1.5 million Armenians were killed just because they were Armenians, just because they were Christians. So, just a little bit history. The dish itself is very filling, very powerful. Let's make the harissa. Only 2 ingredients. Traditionally, harissa is also made with lamb or any other meat. By my grandma's tradition, harissa was made with chicken, so I'll go by that version. We need peeled wheat and chicken, and we need lots of time, a good strong arm to mix and stir that harissa so it doesn't stick, and it takes hours, but the end and the result is very worth it. So I already cooked the chicken. You cook it until it comes out the bone, so we can remove all those meats from the bone and make it ready. And the wheat my grandma used to wet overnight. I don't do that. It still cooks very good, very quickly, because I also tried wetting overnight. The result was the same. So I would assume the wheat back in Armenia was more harder and more stiff. That's why she would wet overnight. The one I find here is very tender, so cooks fast. So I'm gonna wash the wheat and start the cooking. What else would you need for your harissa? Of course, a big pot. And when I was mentioning about musaler, they would cook 40 pots of huge pots over fire of this harissa, and people would take turns and stir that harissa, of course with wooden ladle. I know the word. Okay, so in my case it's a small portion that will feed 5 to 6 people. Consider it small. Yes, it is small comparing to the 40 pots of harissa, and 40 pots because the resistance were fighting for 40 days. Okay, so now when it's washed, we can start cooking, and you will save that broth from the chicken, and we're gonna cook this harissa with that broth. And if we don't have enough liquid, because as it cooks, the water will simmer and you will need to add more and more water. And my grandma's harissa was with bones in it, and she would say bones make harissa even tastier. So what I do, I save all the bones, all the additional things from that chicken. And then add some water to those bones and cook it slowly. Bring it to a boil. And that will be my water that I'll be adding once in a while to my harissa. And another thing we do, and I will need some help with this, we need to remove all the soft and white meat from that chicken. So you don't want any bones, anything that's not meat from that chicken. So I'll go ahead and with my Lil, I need you, now I need you. So my daughter Lilith will help me to remove all this. Okay, so and we're saving the bones, okay?
Okay.
And I also removed most of the skin from the chicken just for the cholesterol reasons, and you don't have anything with high cholesterol, just it will make a little bit healthier. It is a healthy dish, okay? Okay, so we'll go ahead and finish this, add all the meat to our wheat and start cooking. This one.
That's my favorite part of the chicken.
Alright, so I started already cooking and I'll add my chicken. And as I mentioned, we may need extra water as this cooks. For that, I'll simply add a little bit water to my bones, my chicken bones, and start cooking. Just bring it to a boil and then simmer along with harissa. It may take a while, and you will need to stir the harissa once in a while, making sure it doesn't stick. And that's it, and it's gonna take hours. This is only the beginning. The dish will cook in a few hours, and I'm not adding any liquid at this time. It still has plenty, but when the time comes, be sure to strain that broth from the other pot. And you will cook harissa on medium to low heat. That's that. And you cook it open without covering. Harissa has been cooking almost 3 hours now. And what the right consistency of the harissa should be? It should be smooth without any visible meat chunks in there. Usually it has to be one. I want to show you. I still can see those slightly chunks of meat. So what I do, I add some more of that broth, chicken broth. And if you feel your broth is not enough, always keep adding to those to those bones, extra water to the bones. And of course, keep stirring and stirring. Usually it takes about 4 to 6 hours. Even though in Armenia, I remember my grandma would cook the harissa almost all night, and we would eat that early in the morning, because this is very, very filling dish. Okay, so I'll let this cook more. After almost, bless you, 4.5 hours of cooking, our harissa is finally ready. And traditionally, they don't add salt to the dish. Everyone adds their own preferred amount of salt, but because this is just for my family, I know how much salt we want. I'll add the salt as well. So this was it, and it's time to try it. And normally and usually harissa is served with clarified butter, or you can use simple butter, any kind of butter. But with clarified butter, it tastes, to me, that's how traditional harissa should taste. So that's it. Harissa is ready. It's pretty heavy. Okay, let me grab a pen. You want to try some, Arka?
No.
No? Okay. I'll get my plate. So I normally make harissa only once a year during this time. probably that's the way I myself just remember all those innocent Armenians that fell during Armenian genocide by Ottoman Turks, and hopefully it will be finally recognized by the world. Hajan.
The broccoli.
Yeah, that's tattoo. And yes, we also serve it with some pickled veggies. Hajan.
They look like broccolis.
They look like broccolis. Yes, this is cauliflower. Okay, so of course I will leave a recipe, detailed recipe on my blog at heghineh.com. You can check it out and
Mine done.
ask me questions if you want.
Done.
Yeah, I'm finally done, yeah? Okay, let me put a spoon. And you can also save harissa in freeze for later and reheat and serve later. But the best is when it's freshly made and enjoyed with friends and family. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you soon.